What's up? What's up? What's up? There we go. Get rid of that real quick. You stay back there real quick while I do some jibber jabbering, young lady. Hey, we got a pretty good show today, I think. We got a young lady that I've never talked to. We've just text message back and forth. Um, I have been very interested in promoting the women, especially in bass fishing, and it's because I really think that there's a really big opening, especially for sponsors and stuff. With all the whining and crying that the guys are doing and all the stuff that's happening and all the drama, I think they can really, they can really promote and really grow bass fishing, whether it be on a kayak or it be on a boat. But when I want to just talk real quick. When I started this back in December, it came up to be a tackle shop podcast. There's so many of them out there, but I was going into local tackle shops, going in, promoting them, taking all my gear into their shop and just promoting them. I thought it's a great idea, but I didn't want to stick to just talking only fishing and only tackle shops and whatever we talk about. So it ended up being all things Chesapeake, where I'm on a Chesapeake Bay, and I like the crabbing. Obviously, obviously I love crabbing. Um, and it was a sad day on Saturday because me and the wife went crabbing, and we only caught five, and that's not a good day if you're going out to catch crabs. But so I'm thinking when I want to bring people on here, sometimes I'm going to put it as when we're eating crabs. Here in Maryland, crabbing is something that is, mostly 90% of Marylanders, that is a tradition where everybody sits around, we're drinking some beer, we're eating some crabs, we're talking anything from music, fishing, hunting, we're talking just everything. And I think that's what I'm going to end up changing it. And I don't know why I didn't start it this way, because a lot of my YouTube channel is a lot of crabbing, from commercial crabbing to my recreational crabbing. So it's going to be called the Crab Shack. Okay. All right. So that is a tradition here in summertime, is eating blue crabs. And what's really interesting to me, I want to see, because she's from Nebraska, and I would think there's a lot of corn out there, a lot of corn. So I would like to hear hey, what do they, what's kind of a tradition, or what is it that they do that's kind of special to Nebraska? All right. So let's rock and roll. Look who I have on here. Hold on, let me do it the right way. Why you're not coming up right? That's all right. I can see you both, though. Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear us?
Absolutely. A little low, but I'm good. Let me make sure I set this all up nice and pretty, and it's not working. I wanted to put you like that. That's going to be the new Crab Shack. So here in Maryland, we do a lot of, we do recreational crabbing, and we have fun. My wife is, how you are about fishing. My wife is about that when it comes to blue crabbing here in Maryland. Maryland, we're known for our blue crabs. We're known for the crab cakes and all that stuff. And we get the recreational, go out and crab them, and it's pretty awesome. So
we have so much to learn. We don't do anything like that here. There's no crabs unless you're looking for crawdads around here. So
that just kind of just went out of my mind what I was getting ready to ask her. When it comes to kayaks, one thing I can tell you here in Maryland that you definitely don't have, at least I don't think you have yet, I'm sure they'll eventually get there, is do you need me to turn up? Are you good? Do you need me to turn up?
No, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. So here in Maryland, was introduced back in about 2002, was the northern snakehead. Right. If I don't know if you've ever seen one before, but
yeah, we've seen them.
Yeah, so that is a big thing with the kayakers down here. That is catching these northern snakeheads, and they're very good to eat. So in Nebraska, I mean, what if you guys are getting? Is it just sitting around at campfire? Because I know you told me there's really not too much to do. You're in a very, very small town, right?
I am. We're in a town of, I think we were deciding it's like 300.
400 people.
We don't even know. I mean, we fish so much. I'm not sure what the real actual population is, but it's a really small town. I was actually born and raised about, let's see, 10 miles from here, and it was a town of 8,000. So we're not really far from the place where I was born and raised. And Dustin was a little farther.
My town was about 1,500 population in Cambridge, Nebraska. So
does everybody know everything that happens?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
yeah, everybody knows your name, what you do. They got to know your business, whatever's going on.
I mean, why do you think we fish?
Yeah.
No, we really do. I mean, our daughter just graduated this year, so we are officially empty nesters as of August. So
she's going to college, right?
She is.
So let me tell you how I kind of even talk to you is that. So I go to work every morning, and when I go to work, I like listening to podcasts. And one of the podcasts you came on just popped up. Never subscribed to them. They're called the it was called a Co-Angler Corner or something like that.
Okay.
And I'm listening to it, and you were such a hoot. I mean, you were very. I like the energy. I liked it. You were really funny, and then start looking into you that you really, you're in the KBF, kayak fishing and all that stuff, which was very intriguing. That's why you were probably like, who?
I love that somebody likes me and gets my humor and my quirkiness. So as long as I reached you. No, that is my personality. I'm my husband, every once in a while, I feel him tap my leg, like, settle down. But I'm a ball of fire. I'm a big competitor. Dustin and I have been competing for the
usually against each other.
We are. The last several years in KBF, we've taken and done some really awesome things in the fishing industry. We actually quit our jobs, and I did it first, and then we kind of ran into some bad luck with my husband's job, and we decided to kind of just do it from home, and we just bit the bullet. I'm not sure we'll be millionaires, but we'll for damn sure live a good life. Sort of. But we kind of have to find that happy medium, but it's there if you want it. You definitely have to chase it and go after it. So
that's all that matters. I mean, if you're enjoying it, that's what you want to do. I think that'd be pretty awesome.
And we started in like the very most basic. I'm talking like a paddle boat. We started clear back with our kids, and it really isn't. We're about 8 miles from a lake, from our local lake, and we had some sand pits that we had provision on just south of our place, and that's where we took our kids as often as possible. We'd lube them up and give them. Eventually, everybody got their own kayaks, and we were able to. Shoot, Drake was doing his homework in the kayaks because we were trying to teach them how to tournament fish, and they were fishing KBF events when they were, little, measuring their own fish, and then they started out fishing us. So I can't say we didn't encourage them to not fish against us so much. Wink, wink. No, they got bigger. They kind of went on to do their own things as far as sports and stuff. Kind of took our kids as free time, but they still go, they love to go. My daughter was just out to the lake, and the boys took her on the boat. Boy, she schooled those boys, ended up catching a giant wiper, and she had them convinced that she was using a chatterbait, and she was telling us all about it. And Dustin's like,
well, she kept telling me she's like a chatterbait, and I'm like, oh, the green pumpkin one? She's like, no, it was the white one you gave me. I'm like, I didn't give you the white chatterbait. She's like, it's the same one we always use. And I'm like, you mean a buzz bait?
Yeah, she's
like, no, a chatterbait. I'm like, no,
can we teach her better? What?
She's like, I've always done this for years, and I've always called it a chatterbait instead of a buzz bait because of the noise it makes. I'm like, oh, Dalen.
Well, there's a story behind that. And the reason she gets that is years ago we fished a tournament called Kayakapalooza with Marty Hughes put it on, and it was a multi-species tournament. It really did teach you a lot because you kind of went from you had to catch a couple bullhead, you had to get bonus points for walleye, you had to catch bass.
Any different species fish you got extra points for. You had to catch your total of 5 bass, 5 bluegill, 5 crappie, and 5 catfish, and they all accumulated the totals at the end of the year, or the
At the
months.
end of the year, okay. That's a task for one day.
It's a
That's
task.
nice.
It is.
Yeah,
It
it
is.
is. Yeah, when we had the championships, they always had a championship at this lake, and it was called Lake Wanahoo, and this place was a really, really popular lake around Lincoln that everybody
Pretty
went
cool
to.
place.
It is cool. It's a flooded timberline and all that stuff, but it was so hard to fish because so many people fished it. So you're there trying to catch your bass, and the championship was 3 bass, 3 crappie, 3 bluegill, and 3 bullhead.
Well, let's be honest, okay? We were paddling, bro. We were not motorized, 2024 Jen and Dustin. We didn't even have bona fide rigs. We had, gosh, what do you know?
Pelican. We had the kids
We
were in
started off
Pelicans,
in
little
some-
Walmart Pelican kayaks. I had a Pelican set on top, and then I think you had your Jackson thing.
We were just looking through pictures, the other day, and I saw Dustin the very first kayak bass fishing national championship, and he was in like a toy Pelican, really, with the alligators there. And I was honey, I can't believe you ever did that.
That's
Everybody absolutely had to believe that Dustin had the biggest balls in the whole place because that guy was in the smallest kayak. We sold that.
That was Lake Fork.
Oh, I can't even believe he did that.
alligators.
No.
Man, I'm in Maryland, and we don't have alligators, man. I'm definitely not in. I'm not into the alligators, and that's what scares me.
I get my hands in the boat.
Because I told her I'd love to take a trip down to Florida and stuff, but we have really knuckleheads for dogs, 2 chocolate labs, and they'll be the first ones to jump in the water and be eaten. You know what I mean?
No, I worry about that. I keep hearing stories now that I'm on social media everywhere, from the fact that somehow I ended up in a Maryland podcast is always above and beyond me. I know that we reached some audiences because I love to fish. Like, we are super competitive. We've been catching some giant fish. We understand how to market a little bit, so we're catching a few wiper. And Nebraska is home to some giant wiper. Like, these things are cool.
What are
They're called wiper.
Yeah, they're wiper. They're a mix between a white bass and a striper. And they're not supposed to be able to reproduce or anything like that. And they're stocked into the lakes, and they put them there to feed on the shad to get rid of the
sports
shad
fish, though, and I'm telling you,
they're fun.
They will rip your rod out of your hand. You guys will have to go to my Facebook and Dustin's Facebook. We caught one a couple weeks ago.
I don't know how many.
We had the best fishing day of our lives. We couldn't catch. It was the last day. It was the last day of May, actually, because we were supposed to be trying to qualify for the KBF, and we weren't catching jack squat, and we kept seeing these like shoom, shoom, and I thought at first that it was shad, but it was definitely not shad. Dustin caught the first one. He's like, "Get some milestone." He's like, "That's wiper." We've been fishing for hours. I'm like, "To heck with it. We'll just fish for wiper." And
yeah, you can eat them.
You can. You want to catch them as fast as you can. It's so fun. They come out. They're like, it's like a freshwater tuna. Yeah. They're insane.
You can eat them. You just got to take out the red bloodline in the middle. When you fillet them, you take the red bloodline out. And that just tastes nasty. But the rest of them eat good.
Now the KBF stuff. So I know you've done a little bit of traveling, but when you're doing the KBF tournaments, are you basically staying at home in Nebraska and you just and measuring like that? Because is there a certain board? Because I know here they've had issues of people cheating. They've had people. One of the biggest kayakers. I don't remember his name because this was a couple years ago. He was actually taking that plastic board and bending it.
Yes.
Like up against the thing, so it would make the fish
look
bigger.
That was a big board. Yeah, that was a big thing, and they've switched it now. That was the old hog trough, and now they switched it. They only allow catch boards, and here pretty soon, Yak Attack's coming out with their leaderboard.
We get couple. We're getting ours here pretty soon.
They're sending us some so we can help promote it and get the word out.
Now these have to be approved, like tournament approved by the director. Like, different. You're not going to be able to just go create some kind of. It's a big, there's a lot of steps, I think, involved to get a tournament approved board, because like Dustin said, it used to be the hog trough, and then we got into catch. We used catch board, but I'm telling you, the catch board, Dustin got me an awesome one. Like it's even
Like 32-inch long.
it's heavy though. Like,
Yeah, it's all
so
metal. I
heavy.
mean,
Oh,
it's
metal
metal.
one.
We
And
have
these
to
guys
tie it
here,
up. It
These
works.
guys here with the snakehead tournaments, they actually had specially made metal ones like that, 40 inches, because
Yeah,
their tournament, because a lot of them snakeheads will get over 30 inches or
right.
32 inches. And if it's over, it doesn't matter. It's saying you're only getting the 32 inches. So they actually got 40-inch ones now made.
Well, and they can custom make you stuff. Dustin we got our logo put on the the outside. So when I take all my pictures, but these are all approved. Everybody uses the same board. Everybody uses the same technology, GPS. Is there cheating go on? Oh my gosh. I think you're always going to have cheating. It just makes me feel, I don't even like to talk about it because it's such a Debbie Downer. You know what? We are really, really judged very harshly because we fish the same waters.
Yeah, we fish together.
When they judge our fish, they are looking, I mean, to
making
the
sure
T.
we're not sharing fish.
That's right.
We've never.
We don't even fish really the
of trying to
same
cheat
style of fishing.
Yeah.
Dustin is absolutely, he can't, no offense, but he can't even really cast like an open face reel. He's just not great at it.
Who's the power fisherman?
He's just not, it's not his thing. I mean, he is absolutely on the leak with a bait caster, but he just looks absolutely awkward when he tries to fish with that. Now, I used to be primarily, but I picked up a really good rod holder actually out of Florida. I picked up Girls Fish Better, and Dustin picked up Power Core Rods, which is Warren Page out of, he's gonna mess that up. Yeah, no, I just know it. It's like it's the Florida famous, what's that town? Anyway, he's out of Florida. Lake Placid, that is right. And he actually has a Girls Fish Better series that I fish. That's 2 bait casters and 1 a spinning rod. And then Dustin, I don't know how he figured it out. He kind of just gave me
I gave him my custom details that I wanted, for length and weights and action and all that stuff, because I wanted something lightweight and I had to have a heavy rod.
And they're bright. Dustin's are orange. They have kayak disc on them. They're really awesome rods. We have been catching those wiper 15, 17, 10 pound. How big are those wipers?
Oh, it just depends on the size. I mean, they're about 10 to 15 pounds on the bigger ones we've been catching, but later on in the summer we'll start catching them in the 26-inch to almost 28-inch wipers. So I mean they'll get way up there in weight. So
but guys were talking about, you guys were fishing the Delta, and
did
you guys you guys up there, here we're trying to save the striped bass. There's so much political crap with striped bass here on Chesapeake Bay, but you go over to the Delta over there in California, well, they're invasive, and they want to get rid of them because of the salmon run.
Yep. Well, and okay, so me and Dustin, I know this is kind of a really weird deal here, but when we catch these wiper, we're looking, they do have, it is not a solid line. It's broken, okay? Not just that, but we're seeing like white
like
semen.
They're trying to spawn. They're milking and all that stuff, and they're not supposed to be able to reproduce. And it's like, how are these fish doing this?
Maybe we just have some bunk information, but I mean, we can see why they completely are invasive because they are everywhere. I even thought that we kind of saw a little bit of an effect. So we went through a major drought the last 2 years, and I feel like those wiper went in there and ate all the larvae, all of the bass fry and everything when we were really, really in the drought. And I think it took a huge toll on our bass population because we've been fishing quite a bit this year. The water's up, the drought's over, we've got flooding going on, now it's extensive with the fish, unless we're just not used to, there's more area now, maybe we're dealing with, you're just not finding them as much as you used to, but we're still not seeing the quality nor the count of bass in our lake, and we do think that might have something to do with the excessive amount of wiper that are in there. Like you can't keep them off your hook. I mean, it is, you'll be fishing for bass and you're like, it's gone.
Yeah, they're hard on your gear.
Yeah.
I mean, they really are.
That's kind of what happened here when the snakeheads were introduced here, the northern snakeheads.
Similar, I see that.
Well, in the smaller rivers here, we have a river. I was actually getting ready to go there Sunday, but we have a lot of bow fishermen out here, but the water's, if it's real, like in the Potomac River, you heard of Potomac down there in DC? Well, that is really deeper and everything. So they can coincide. Everything kind of equals out. But when you start getting down into the shallower stuff, we were seeing the bigger bass, but we weren't seeing a lot of the numbers of the smaller bass. But
Right.
once that kind of went up there, the kayak army came there, the snakehead army, and there were so many people down in these areas that I think it kind of evened it out. So it's working out. Now the bow fishermen are out there and they're really, really, really controlling that, because the other one here is the blue catfish here, is a really big deal. And like, I my
Are
biggest
they saying that it's invasive or it's endangered?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
no, that's
You guys
no,
like
they're
catching the
invasive. They're
blue.
trying to get they're trying to get rid of them. I mean, that's where I was going to go. I mean, these things get pretty damn big.
Wow.
Oh, look at that.
I'll keep these.
That'd be fun.
I'll
That'd
keep
be
these.
fun to
Those are
catch in a kayak.
Yeah, I would. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean,
I think we caught burbot.
You caught burbot in Louisiana.
I did. I caught my first burbot, and I thought that I was really confused. I really thought that was a snakehead at first because
They look similar.
I didn't know what it was. But what a gnarly fish! And I feel like it probably acted just probably like a snakehead, but it swam towards me and went under my
it's just like
so
fishing
I
for
wasn't
bass.
really. Yeah.
It's basically like fishing for bass. You go fish for bass, buzzbait, frogs. A lot of people like the frogs as swim baits. So I mean, you pretend if you're fishing for bass, you'll catch snakeheads. If you're fishing for snakeheads, you'll catch bass. It kind of works that way.
Yeah.
Up in Nebraska, what are the main fish that you have up there? Like I've seen I've seen some pictures. You guys don't make I was gonna make usually when I bring a guest on, I'll make a video of you, before you come on.
I still want one.
But a lot of them are all the Instagram and stuff like that. Some on Facebook. So I didn't make that. I was going to make that today. But what kind of fish do you? I mean, is it mainly just bass up there? But I've seen you got walleye, right?
We have walleye, we have bass, we have northern pike,
Muskellunge.
we got wiper, white bass,
Crappie, perch.
We got perch. I mean, we got just about everything. Got all the catfish. You got blue catfish, channel catfish, flathead catfish.
That's our local.
And then we got carp, the common carp, grass carp. All the species there. And it's just a matter of which lake you go to, because some lakes don't have everything. I mean, a lot of them do. They'll have the walleye and bass and all that. And other ones, they'll just have walleye, wiper, catfish.
I mean, we can go a couple hours north of here and catch trout, brown trout, cutthroat, rainbow.
Small amounts.
Yes. We can go. I don't know. I mean, have you ever been through Nebraska before?
I've never been in Maryland. I've been in Maryland. I went to Indianapolis once to watch. I used to be a Ravens, the football NFL team. I went there to watch Indianapolis beat them. But because Baltimore, Colts, all that stuff, it is. But
I would tell you that you would absolutely love Dustin and I fish kind of our honey hole. I don't know. In Maryland, I'm going to take my chances and talk about it. We do a lot of fishing north, about 4 hours north of here, on a couple of wildlife refuges. And it is so quiet. You would think there's a lot of people there, but there's not. We're like the only people in the entire park all day, all evening. There's rules.
You got to be out of there at night. You got to be out of there at night because they want you out for the wildlife when
there's
they come
cattle
back in.
that roam through there that eat. There's windmills. Everything's all natural.
It's
so
not
beautiful.
really. I mean, they're really not ponds. It's the water table from the sand pits. And you're in the sand hills, so you just got the lower parts where all your lake, and they call them lakes.
And it's beautiful.
And they're just like little ponds, clear water. I mean, you're catching pike and largemouth. Yeah. For how shallow it is, I think the deepest one we went to is like 6 foot deep. And you have all kinds of cattails and everything, but you'll catch
beautiful.
One after another. You're catching 19, 20-inch largemouth.
You need to look that up.
30 or 40-inch pike, like almost every cast.
Monster bluegill, biggest pike.
Yep.
We even, you know what, we have a pretty good relationship with old Babe Winkleman, and he would tell us that he would catch, I think it was Babe that was telling us, he would catch like, like literal pan-sized bluegill out of a place out in Nebraska. And was that a place that we fish? And I'm like, well, I didn't know they were that big there, but I think I'll go check.
But we've never fished for them. It's like we're fishing for bass because all of our tournaments are all bass, and it's
I think we'll probably open our horizons. My cousin kind of he got us a little bit in the walleye fever last couple of weekends. And although I felt like Dustin and I were totally, I don't know.
Almost like
we started throwing some buzz baits because we got bored first. So and Dustin caught a massive, like 40-inch pike. And so I kind of saw the other walleye fishermen kind of giving us the stank eye because we're making so much noise with those buzz baits. Because we were really there to kind of pre-fish and help my cousin pre-fish for the tournament.
For walleye.
Oh my gosh, there's so much money. They were winning. There was like $20,000 tournament. I'm like, we're fishing. Although now some of the tournaments that Dustin and I fished, you could have won $250,000. So they're up there. But even on the weekend, some of those people were taking $20,000 home and $3,000 for another tournament. I'm like, honey, we're fishing the wrong species.
Yeah. Oh my goodness! Well, they do a lot of.
He caught his bait off one of my lures. Like, I mean, hell yeah, he ended up catching a 29.
It was a 29-inch walleye.
A 29-inch walleye. That's a large walleye.
That's a big wall. That's we have them down here too. We have the river. Do you guys have any tidal water up there? Or is it all lakes?
Oh no, we're landlocked, right dead in the center, sir. There's no ocean.
We got creeks and rivers, but the rivers are from the drought, and we don't hardly.
Can't pour in here, so they don't. They pump there's no rivers, the fish, because they dry them up because it's got to water the corn.
Right. I was wondering that. I mean, I know that Mississippi goes really far up. I just didn't know how far it might go up, and for any kind of tidal. Cedar Chesapeake Bay, it's all tidal. So it's what's cool about the Chesapeake Bay, and is as you go all the way up towards the dam. So we got the dam. The river comes all the way from New York, PA, and all that comes down through, and we had the dam. So up there you can catch walleye. You can catch snakeheads are up there. You can catch white perch, yellow perch, smallmouth bass, channel cats, blue cats, stripers. So you can get all down there. Though as you start going down, and then the saltwater, you start meeting the saltwater. The stripers get down there. But now we can get redfish down here. Some people are giving me a secret. There's tarpon down south. Sea bass. I mean,
you're in the best place though. You've got I think we're gonna head coastal. We'll probably going to North Carolina.
You moving?
I want to go to the beach. Like, I want to be able to catch fresh and salty.
She wants to live mobile to where we can go wherever we want. It's kind of, kids are out of the house, and it's like just her and I, and you have this house.
Life is so short. Let's chase the sunset. I can work from I work from home already. Let's just make home a motor home, or I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I certainly don't want to, sit around and burn it doing nothing.
I just said, me and my wife, I swear to God, we just had the same thing. There was a motor. She goes, here, look at this. It's an older motor home. We can just put on the back. Look, we can go wherever. We can take the dogs wherever we want. We can, but we have to stay close to home. But
that's right.
But so now I did mention so the tournament, I haven't watched too much tournament and really talked a lot of bass fishing, because once the split happened with the Bassmasters and MLF, I really enjoyed the MLF platform or the format they had at the beginning. Not so much anymore. I really don't watch it. But then I stopped watching the Classic because all my favorite guys weren't there anymore.
Right.
So I haven't really talked. I've done I just do some local tournaments every once in a while. But so you were talking. So I watch Christine Fisher, and I didn't really watch her for the longest time. Last spring, I kind of watched all her videos through her tournament season. That really got me motivated.
Nebraska, actually.
What's that?
She's from Nebraska, actually. We fished with her a long time ago in some of Marty's tournaments and what we were talking about earlier. So we know her. She used to fish against us in the tournaments here in Nebraska.
The thing about her is that she's switching over to being a boat. I think she's going to try to fish the opens. And you had mentioned in there that you were even considering maybe even being a co-angler. Are you interested in being a non-boater, doing some bass fishing on a boat?
I would totally be a co-angler. I mean, heck yeah. We've fished some on a boat. It is different. I'm going to tell you, it's different. It is not
Mhm.
the same. I almost felt like, now we were in a Triton, and that was not a bass boat, but still, I fished a bass boat on the Delta,
Yep.
and I want you to know, our first few casts were a little awkward. I like to test it. I'm like, so we're a little higher up, aren't we?
Yeah,
It's way
that's like me
different.
going to a
It took
kayak.
us a while. Yeah. But I love to fish anytime. Anybody asks me, oh man. I mean, I feel like anytime that is introduced, you almost have to have money to play. If I could kick my sponsors up a notch and I had a little bit of room to play, oh, I'd fish every event possible, probably.
Well, a couple of weeks, about 2 weeks ago, I had on Cindy Adler Jackson, and
Yeah.
this is her first year as a boater, as a professional fisherman. Have you? Is that league anywhere near you? They're in. It's called a Ladies Bass Fishing
You know
Bass
what?
Association.
Okay, so I do some social media for a company. I keep see it coming up, but I'm such a kayaker. I just never really thought of it. I did get in. We were working with an apparel company for a while, and all of them were boaters, and they started to ask us a lot. Um, hey, we're down in Texas. If you ever come down, would you guys want to fish with us? But I'm not against it. I mean, fishing's fishing for me. I mean, however
Right.
you can get me out there. But I would certainly. I mean, I don't even know what all the rules are. I work for. I do the socials for some professional anglers. It was a crash course because I didn't pay attention as much as Dustin did to the format of like Major League Fishing and Bassmaster.
Right.
And I wish I had. And finally now I've been forced to because both my anglers fish one of each. And so I have to learn, and every platform is different. I've got an angler that fishes one bass. I've got an angler that's fishing the Bass Angler Magazine, or yeah, the BAM Pro Tour. And so just keeping all that stuff straight. Is absolutely insane. And then trying to run Dustin and I socials, you'll see sometimes our socials are kind of lacking. It's probably because I'm, running tournaments for somebody else. But last year, I feel like Dustin and I had our best. Oh, we had so much fun. We did the media for a professional pro tour out in California. We went to Lake Almanar. Oh my gosh. I did the photography of it. Dustin did like all of the he helped all the boats, parked all the boats, took care of the fish, visited all the fish, blah, 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 all those things, all the tournament management part of it. And we had an absolute blast. We got caught up in our first earthquake.
What?
But
Get
that
out of
was,
here.
I mean, I think I'd rather have tornadoes. I don't know. It's a toss up because I saw the earth move like carpet. So
I don't know.
I'm not
You
really
know,
sure about all that.
I did try to get Chad Hoover on here because I
Yeah.
just started. My channel I've been doing for a couple of years, but the podcast thing. So what happened is I did so I had some fishery biologists and everything on here a couple times, and I actually really enjoyed doing this. So I
Yeah.
started it in December, and so I'm growing. It was kind of hard to get guests at first. I'm starting to come a little bit easier, but I'm really wanting to, like I said, I wanted to promote the women. I think you guys really have a just really an opportunity. Like I said, I think the only reason why I think one of the reasons why Christine's moving over to boats, I think they must have just gave her a really good deal.
Oh, I
Not a
can't
real
imagine. I really hope someday. Oh man, I put in the difference between me, I think, is I'm my own marketer. I feel like I've spent a lot of time growing a lot of other people's business, and I really should
Mhm.
have been kind of growing my own, but zero regrets, right? Because
Right.
I have learned this platform from the bottom all the way to the top. I mean, as far as, you know, putting in the work and the effort. I mean, I also am a graphics artist. So the companies that hire me, um, they're going to get some really solid professional content in return. Um, and I feel like we've been in this business for long enough that we fish almost every day. We try to,
Yeah.
As
because
long as the weather lets us.
yeah, I mean, we try. And we try to attend things. This year was kind of crazy. We didn't get to do a lot of this stuff. Dustin lost his job, and we didn't get to do a lot of the stuff because my daughter graduated.
Yeah, I seen that.
So
A lot
we
of
kind
pictures.
of
We
had
kind of
a.
took some time off from fishing to kind of get that going and
She's more
get her all
important,
done.
but it felt like we were kind of grounded.
That's all right. I
um,
mean, look, was a big.
We don't have
That was a big.
graduated. Yeah.
I would say you might gave her like spit her out because she looks just like you.
Yeah, she does.
It's like I didn't know who was
She's,
who at first. I was looking. I was like, "Is that her?" Couldn't tell.
you know,
Not that
it's
friend.
no joke. All the people that I've done the podcast for, you can come in to me. My kids are like, can you like sneak by? One's coming in, one's coming out.
Yeah, of course.
All the people, they like the last couple of podcasts that I did, they used her image. No, it was my niece. My niece looks just like us too.
Yeah.
And they used her images. I had posted a picture of her on my page, and they used her. And I'm like, Corey, you're on a podcast this week. So we all really do look alike. Dalen's awake here. You'll know the difference. Corey's got tattoos all over, and you'll see. But we all look really a lot alike.
Well, I will tell you here, I'm about 40 minutes away from Ocean City, Maryland, right off the beach. And
Nice.
One of the biggest tournaments ran is right out of Ocean City, Maryland. That's the White Marlin tournament every year.
Nice.
And the prize there is over like $2 million when you win.
Oh, Steve, talking putts money out here. We're still in Nebraska, sir.
These were like Michael Jackson, not Michael Jackson. Michael Jordan has a big giant coach out there from Marlin. I mean, tuna. It's a fun thing to watch. You can go down, you can watch the weigh in. They bring all the boats, all the big boats come in, and they weigh them. It's really cool, and it's a beach thing down here. And my wife loves the beach. I'm more of I don't know. It's kind of I like the beach. I guess it's okay. I don't know. I think I might be I'd rather maybe have a place where there's more of a lake, be on a lake. That way I know that I don't, when it rains 3 inches, that's as high as it goes.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean,
I don't know. I'm excited to get somewhere coastal just so we can. I know that there's mountains and it still snows a little bit, like around Christmas in North Carolina, because I'm from Nebraska. We can get rid of it altogether. Anyway, I don't need any more in a couple of days. We had some rough winters, like 30 below. It was not good. So we ice fish here. You ever ice fish before?
No, I wouldn't mind doing that. That seems like kind of fun. But how do you decide where? I mean, where do you decide to? Do you just go like off a major point or something? And
you watch everybody else and hope you don't die. I'm kidding, but it's true, really. No, so there's some science behind it. When I was younger, in college, I had a professor that would go out all the time, even the dead of winter, and go catch us fish so that we could sex the scales or whatever you do with fish scales with your biology instructor. And he would get us different species, and he would always catch them with yellow dollflies, every species. So my husband just happened to have been the sporting goods manager at Walmart. And so every time that something would go on sale, like we never got a paycheck, because Dustin's like, hurry, get out here. I'm getting ready to mark down all this sporting goods equipment. Come buy it all.
Right.
So run out there because I like to fish. And
I work to buy fishing stuff.
Yeah, it was silly. We didn't make any money ever there. Anyway, so I went out there and of course, I'd buy all these yellow dollflies, and I got he came up, we were out there the following day. He's like, are you the one that bought all those yellow dollflies that done marked down? He's like, you bought every single package. I did. They were cents. I bought every one. And
that's the lady in you.
That's the fisherman in me. I couldn't even help it. He was so mad. Like, he refused to talk to me for a long time about it because he was like, I can't believe you bought the whole rack. But him and Dustin would go on to become really close. He just died here not too long ago. Oh, but what an amazing guy. We used to fish with him, and anyway, that was just it. I mean,
he knew the exact temperatures it had to be for however long, and how much ice would become on the lake.
He's the only one that ever fell in though all the time.
Yeah, he always pushed. He
would do 2 inches of ice. You can see we don't do anything like that. We go in, it's like 13, 15. Hell no, we don't.
If you see a 4-wheeler or a gator driving across the lake,
I have a panic attack all the way across the lake, no matter what. It doesn't matter. The ice, it's loud. You would think that it's not like, no, it's loud. it cracks. There's noises, especially if it's sunny. The experience I had was because a helicopter flew over. It sounded like the abyss. I don't know what that was. It was like a whoa, 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 whoa. All that ice, it was like
Shifting.
suctioning your ears out. And I was like, oh my gosh, that just needs to fly over right away. You could hear the cracking of the ice. The ice was responding to that noise. And I was like, oh, hell no, we gotta get out of here. You think you'd run? You don't run. Sometimes you freeze. Like you hear things and you're like, the clearer ice actually is the safer ice, you don't think so, but
Right.
it is. I don't know, you must have to use a spud spar so you don't die, but we don't go out unless people can drive on it, and we're not that great
Yeah,
at it. We used to drill holes and we don't even do that. I see people and they leave and I'm like, let's go, they drilled all the holes, we'll go fish those. So
yeah, I watch a YouTube channel and he's in Alaska a lot, and I watch him do that. Like as soon as the holes just freeze over all the time. I don't know about I don't know. I think as I'm getting a little bit older, I mean, I'm not even gray. It's just white anymore. That I don't know. My bones can't take all that damn cold weather.
oh, we have to wear certain clothes. I got lucky and I had a company sponsor me this really nice oh my gosh, a coat and a bomber, the whole bibs. I used that. I watched it 20 million times until it was almost falling apart. But
And if you get a hut, you'd be surprised. The
it's
people
not
that have
cold.
huts,
It's fun and it's
you can
warm.
put a heater inside of it, and you can
have
wear
a
shorts
heck
and
of
a
a time.
t-shirt and be comfortable.
Yeah, and
Sitting
then
on the ice.
in the little houses. Oh yeah, no, I see them do
Yeah.
that. Start to have
Oh,
a
yeah.
heater and fire. I'm like, isn't it going to melt the ice?
Oh, it does
it's
it.
super
It's crazy.
thick. And sometimes you pour water over it so you can see down in there. Like it's thick.
So with with your fishing, are you thinking about going to other different tournaments like Bassmaster and stuff like that?
Yeah, we've already qualified and fished for the Bassmaster. I think that is.
Yeah, I think I've seen that actually.
Yeah, I think that's those. We fished. We tried to qualify at Horsetooth last year, and oh my gosh, so that lake. I don't really think it should have ever been on the tournament list because it's a college lake. Like there were what do you call those paddleboard people? By like 50, 60 of them, like just in groups of people while you're trying to fish. They're young and kids. They had no idea that you really should kind of stay, like we're boaters and kayakers, 50 feet, bro. What are you doing?
Right where you're casting.
Grandmas, yoga people. I just looked, and we're in Colorado. It is way different. I'm like, Dustin, there's yoga people everywhere. How are you supposed to fish?
Yeah. And then you had wake boats.
Cute girls, boobs, all kinds of, college women out there, all of them. We're trying to fish these tournaments. I'm like, oh, this is nuts. But I mean, cool lake. We did not qualify in that one, but I suppose it was 2 years ago. We qualified for the one down at.
We did the first one. The first Bassmaster tournament they had was at Possum Kingdom Lake. We qualified. It was at our home lake that we go to here in McCook. That's where she grew up. It's just north of where she lived.
Yeah,
and
right.
We went there, and that's where we qualified for that one down at Possum Kingdom. And that was the first one that we qualified for. Now it's really grown now to where they have their own trail. They have and that's about the only way you can get into it is either through your state chapter of Bassmaster, or they have their Bassmaster tournaments. And I think you got to be in the top 10%.
That's how we get in. I mean, we fished. He got first, and I think I got second. And we qualified for Possum Kingdom. No, I got sixth, and it advances to them.
Yeah, because other people already qualified, so they had it roll down, and they don't do the roll downs anymore.
No, yeah, it's different. So I just got lucky. I got a second place. So,
that's still ain't nothing wrong with that. Did you get?
And we went down there and fished, and Dustin ended up flipping, almost lost his life down there. It was crazy.
Now they had floodwaters come in. They had rain that happened about a week before, and it was all rock, so it takes a while for it to get to the lake. And we went up this stream that I had to push my paddle and my kayak over these rocks to get into where we were going. And we got up to the end, and there's a little waterfall there. And we sat there, took some pictures, kind of tried to figure things out. It was all dirty water. I'm like, oh, let's get
Kind
out of
of
here.
looked like foamy though, and that
Yeah.
should have been my first indication. But
Well,
I was so
yeah.
ecstatic.
Yeah, that's cool. It was a cool
It was
looking place.
awesome up in there. I'm
Then
like,
you
no,
saw
there's fish. There's
Tree
fish here.
stumps floating down the water
Yeah.
and sticks, and it's like, okay, what's going on here? So like,
It was
we'll get out
fast.
of
It
here.
happened really quick. Not enough time for any
Maybe
of us to
15,
think.
15 minutes maybe by the time we got to
Tops.
that part of the waterfall. We head back down, and the place that we had to scrape bottom to get through was gone. It was class
Like I
4
saw a
rapids.
big rock off in the distance, like that stuck complete. I don't know, 15 foot out of the water. Is now that's only showing is only like the top half of it, and you know, you don't realize all of that's filling in as you're in there. Where are you going to go? We would have. There's trees. We went through. Anyway, I decided to go, and I like cowgirled it, screaming like yeehaw it, and I made it down okay. But he's never really had greatest balance. That's why we always went with a bona fide kayak, right? Because they were stable, and I knew even then he had a brand new motor on, top heavy. I knew he was going over. I just had some sick feeling. I heard it first.
If I didn't hit the tree that was the only tree sticking up, I was going down. I heard her, and I thought maybe she fell in or something. I heard a noise, but the water was so rapid, it was hard to hear anything. And I'm like, well, shoot, I got to hurry up and go check on her, make sure she's all right. So I paddled upstream, and I got flipped around and started heading straight down where she went. And my kayak hit a rock, and it knocked me sideways.
He ramped off that.
Put me right to the only tree sticking up, a little sapling tree. And my kayak hit it, and it just lifted it right up, and it tilted over. And that's all I remember was tipping over, and I remember standing up out of the water.
I screamed at him I'm like, get out of your boat! Get out of your boat! We got kids! Get in your boat! Anyway, he lost no shoes, the paddle, his fishing
everything.
Gear, his motor's upside down.
Luckily, my fish finder was still hooked to my kayak.
This
my
guy
motor was still hooked. I only lost a little bit of tackle. My phone got drenched. It was in my pocket, so I lost my phone. I had to go get a replacement phone for that. But other than that, a couple broken rods, but that was the only thing that I lost.
He was beat up, guys. Like, he was bleeding. I was bleeding. I was hooked. I was trying to get him. We were so emotional about it. I'm like, get off your boat! I was like, we got kids.
I had a Jackson. I did a Jackson with me, and because my mom gave me this big head on my shoulders, that I went on there, and I had to go do a number one, and I pulled up, and I put my GoPros on there. I had everything going there, and I went to go step in it and flipped. And I was like, son of a bitch. And so I went and put everything back in the boat because I was right there by shore. Put everything back to the boat, and God darn it, if I didn't sit back in that thing and flip right back over on the other side. I was like, that's it. I'm going right back to my boat. See that express boat?
He was just the type that had the same issues just with that. And Bonafide solved that for him. Our boats were stupid stable. We ended up
pretty nice.
Yeah, we enjoy that.
It's like a paddleboard. I mean, you can sit there. I'll put my motor on, and I'll get going just straight, and I can stand up and just sit there and fish shoreline or anything. The motor just goes, and I can cast, do everything.
He can stand on it, anybody can. He was the guy, even when we were kids, when we would ride the jet ski in the lake, I'd have to pull him to shore because he couldn't get back on. I was so mad. I'm like, come on, let's go.
I was fine by myself. Another person. It's like
he couldn't get back on. He just, for some reason, Dustin's balance is just not great. So he has to have something that is very stable for him. I can stand on the perch and be up at the top, but I'm short, and I have a really good balance. Something that he's, as athletic as this guy is, he has zilch for balance. So he also sinks in a lake. He doesn't float. So
I'm like a rock, man. Straight down. Yeah, me.
I can't do it. I sink to the bottom.
Him too. Yeah.
It was crazy because when I had the ear surgery done so that really has screwed my balance. So just reaching around. So when I had a Jackson, my buddy sold me a Jackson, and just turning around to reach for something, it felt like I was, you had that vertigo kind of feeling, and I was like, man, I'm going to stay right on my boat.
It was probably a Jackson Coosa, and for
whatever. Was it a Coosa?
What the hell was it? This was a couple years ago.
It was lighter on top.
I know it was bright yellow and orange. Jackson. What the hell was that? Jackson. I can't. I won't lie. I
It
can't
could have
remember.
been a Kilroy, but some of those were really, I mean, they were really tippy. Like
Yeah.
Oh,
This was
they were just really tippy. A lot of people that rode them had to have, like, I felt like they were just had to have a little bit better balance than some to ride those. I rode it. Dustin had a Jackson.
it was a Jackson Cuda 12, and I tried standing up on it. It looked wide enough. It's like I should be able to stand up. I'd stand up, and then you're just sitting there, you're teeter-tottering, trying to keep your balance. I'm like, nope, sitting back down.
He
I'm not
never
gonna
did
fall in.
stand in that, and that's why we did. We actually, because of that, we did switch to Bonafide specific for balance
Well,
because
they're a big sponsor for you, right?
they are.
sponsor you.
Yep.
They're
Talk about them a little bit. How'd you meet?
You
and all
know
that
what?
sort
We
of
have,
thing?
Bonafide. We have Bonafide. They just come out with a couple of
They got
new.
the Power 129. That's the new one. It's all rigged up to where you can add all your accessories and all that stuff. They got plates that you can, mount all your stuff to, and your electrical plug-ins and all that. So that's new. We haven't gotten any of those yet. Right now, we're just in the SS 127s. That's a 12-foot 7-inch. And they're
The kids have the
super stable.
1107s.
No,
So,
the kids are on the RS 117s.
oh yeah,
They're the river kayak that they first came out with. And then they got the SS 107, which is like ours. It's shorter. It's 10-foot 7-inches, but it was basically made for your rivers and stuff. They came out with the RS 117s, and they just kind of took over. And then they have what's the other one? The paddleboard type one.
It's the.
She's in deep thought.
I was thinking about, well, I was about to skip subjects and talk about Yak Tak because we've gotten some new
I was just down here at
wheels.
one of our.
And they're getting us the new metering board. I don't know if we're supposed to talk about that, but I think we can. They have released that.
What is it?
We got a new metering board. So I have the catch. And I'm such a sucker. You can see I like to match. I do. I kind of boss Dustin around sometimes and make him, but we're a business and we're professional. If it's your company that I'm promoting.
I was not going to say nothing to him. I was not going to make fun of him. Wasn't going to say anything because I mean,
I try to keep our business as professional as we can, and I try to promote.
Code. You just sit there.
Well, you want to see something funny? Okay, so you guys were celebrate. You said 20 years. You guys been together. Is that what I heard?
Yeah.
Okay, so me and my wife right now. How long? Because you screwed up the last time. So what is it? We're 37 years now. 37. So we've been together since 1987. And you want to see some, I show this so far every time I do a live stream. So this is what we looked like when we met.
I'm not even going to show you what we look like.
Well, look, and let me tell you. So we're right here. See this BL at his Black Label Society. You know who that is? Black Label Society. That is a heavy metal band.
I see somebody else had a really badass shirt on in some of your pictures. Your wife did.
My wife. So we were kind of into the metal, and we were long hair, and my wife goes, you would look really good with blonde hair. All right. Okay. So go ahead, have fun with this one.
Nice.
Jeez.
Don't worry.
Don't stop. No, I'm playing.
I did the same thing too. I had the blonde hair.
I dyed Dustin's hair in a Walmart bag. If you left it on for like extra, it was like, oh.
It almost made it white.
It's crazy. What we do for love, right?
That's right.
That's right.
37 years, and she gets better looking every day.
We're like fine wine, aren't we, man?
Yeah, we probably almost been together the same amount because we've been married for 20 years. But her and I, we were together since we were 15.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's my first man.
Yeah.
Nice. That's nice.
And
you guys,
I'm 45 now, so.
Really do it? No. No, I want you to know, guys. Really. I recently asked Dustin. I did not know. Shocking. Okay. I recently asked him. I thought all these years that I was like showing off and that he really liked me when he came to my house.
Right.
We had mutual friends, and his friend, my good friend, Sarah, her cousin, Bo, I already knew him, but they were from a different town, and they brought Dustin to my house.
I'm going to a place full of strangers. I only knew a couple people, and I'm like the stranger.
You guys, I was the city girl. I was just showing off.
I was a country boy. I grew up in the country. So.
He came in like I can't say that right, a white tank top
Wife beater.
low hanging shorts with his boxers hanging out. And I just looked, he looked like a thug. He did. They were like
So he
pool
likes hip
balls.
hop,
I
right?
remember it. Anyway, I said explicitly who the F. I don't know what I said. I
She said,
said potty mouth.
who the beep are you? And I looked at her like, okay. So me, I'm not meeting anybody before, not knowing who it is.
I thought he really liked me.
Well, I'm like, well, I'm Dustin Mues, pleased to meet you. You know,
He's like, I thought you were rude.
yeah,
I'm like,
she asked me
no,
about it, and I'm like,
I
yeah,
like
first,
you.
I'm like, yeah, that's kind of not a way to introduce
That's the
yourself to
only way I
somebody.
heard from somebody else really liked you, and you're really nice. So I'm like, oh, that's so great. I tells you what I know.
Yeah, that well, our we went on. My buddy goes, "Hey, you know, I'm going on a date with this girl, and she wants to bring her friend. Would you be? I mean, would you go
Ooh.
out and hang out with us?" And I'm like, "Sure." So my buddy was dating her, and
Yeah.
she brought her friend. And so my buddy was more clean cut, and I'm more of the long hair guy, and she
Oh,
grabbed
no,
my
Martin.
she grabbed my butt when my buddy was there, and but I did ask,
My personality. Your wife is me. I'm sure of it.
yeah, I did ask his permission. I say, hey, you know the girl, and I asked his permission before I actually asked her out, and but I don't know, 37 years later, and we're still kicking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Are you going to do any traveling with your with this? Are you going to try to? I mean, when it comes to tournaments, are you going to travel down and do like? Because I know we bring up Christine Fisher, but she does a lot of traveling all over the place too.
So we go to these tournaments. So what happens is you'll fish the monthly, right? And you fish against other Nebraska anglers or wherever you're from. And then you all get pulled in and you'll fish a national championship. But it'll be in Tennessee or Alabama. We drive all the way and go to them.
Right.
And we fish them. We spend a week. We pre-fish. We check out all the. Oh man, we try to eat some good food while we're there. And I love to hang out with all the people. I want to see all my friends that are going to be there. And I mean, I know a lot of people. I want to see as many people as I can. I'm like, hey, what's up? How you?
I mean, we do more traveling to go to like other tournaments, just a normal trail tournament. But to us, there's two people involved, so it's
Right.
double the fees, double the cost. You got double the food, and it's just like you look at the cost of everything. It's like we can't afford this for two people.
We've been having good luck
it's
with
different.
sponsorship, but it comes and goes, right?
Right.
We'll get some, or like the company that we were getting, Dustin was really getting, some give money and some don't.
Right.
I mean, and it's not always a lot. I mean, I suppose anything helps, but we also need to get ourselves right and market it better to where we're giving people, this is what you're going to get if you work with us.
Right.
Right now, I mean, because we've been in Florida and all over the place, back and forth. We do follow all of the. We follow the classics. We try to go to the Bassmaster Classic.
Mm-hmm.
He happened to take. I think he's watching. I'm sure he's on here.
There. He's got a comment on there now.
Matt. We met Matt. I worked for a company years ago, and I met Matt. And
how old is he?
He. Oh my gosh, I don't even know how to explain it. He asked his folks. He had followed me for years. Him and I were good friends, and he had asked his folks for a trip to the Bassmaster with Dustin and I. And so we actually packed up and got in the pickup, and we're like, we're just gonna take him. So we drove all the way to, what how old's Matt? 38, 35? I don't know how old Matt is.
I think it's 35. No, it might be 38.
Matt, how old are you? Anyway, we met his folks, and he has a service dog, Sophie, and Greg and Sue, and we all rode together to Louisville, he's from Louisville.
Yeah, he's from
and
Louisville, Kentucky. We drove to Louisville, stayed the night with them, and then the next day we headed down to the Classic in where was that at?
Jacksonville.
Knoxville.
Or
Knoxville. It was in Knoxville.
Knoxville, Tennessee.
Yep.
I couldn't believe how far that was. That took us forever to
It's
get
like
there.
18 hours.
I
Oh my
wanted to go to
goodness.
Mississippi, and that's an 18-hour drive.
I just went to the beach. I didn't even realize I was that freaking close. Gosh. Anyway, but Matt would go on to know everybody at the Bassmaster, and he was like, hey. They're like, hey, yeah. I'm like, what? So we ended up having so much fun. We missed it this year, but him and his dad actually went to the one down in, was it Oklahoma?
Or Tulsa.
Tulsa this year. And so he's a big fan. He likes to go, and Matt got, I don't know. He came home with so much fishing stuff. I thought his parents were going to murder me because he had so much. But
Ain't no wrong with that.
oh my gosh, we've taken Matt. We were going to go this year, and we didn't end up making it. But so we try to attend these events and do some, and I do work like for your company. I might run your socials, or I might, which everybody likes, right? Because everybody gets burnt out on it, right?
I kind of did myself.
I do too. But it's not as bad as somebody's paying you to do it. But
Right.
I social.
I'm looking for sponsors.
I do ads. I do all kinds of good things. I mean, if it has anything to do with social media, professional pages, resumes, digital resumes, anything you can dream up of.
To get your name out there.
That's
I mean,
my
that's
job.
pretty much it. If you're trying to hit the level of being in the fishing industry, and you need the stuff to do it. So I mean,
I'm a
she's the one that
sponsorship
gets
getter.
Yep.
And I'm sponsored English, so I know it works. I could do better. I really don't. I feel like I don't promote myself as much as I should, but I also work a lot. I work for other people. I have, a couple of professional anglers. I work for I have another company. I do their socials. Oh my gosh. I mean,
like Facebook and stuff, like Facebook and stuff like that. Just to make sure I'm looking at when I'm looking over here. I hope I don't feel rude. I actually got notes here. The stuff that I like want to ask you, so I'm looking.
No, I do all kinds of stuff. I mean, somebody will call and need like a professional page, like you need a digital fishing resume. I mean, I'm gonna make you look, superb. I'm gonna use high-end digital imagery to make, reach out to your sponsors and, promote you to the best of my ability.
Yeah, I'm hoping this takes off because, like,
Yeah.
because I've been around here, and I'm not the kind of guy that thinks that just because I promoted you, think that anybody should be sponsoring me. So eventually, this will take off. Now, I just want you to know you were going to be on. So I changed this about a half an hour, or maybe an hour before we went on, because I'm switching. So being a YouTuber and doing long form content, I think the live streams, and I definitely believe the shorts. I started putting out a lot of shorts, and you're getting subscribers with the shorts, but to me, it's not transferring over to watching your long form. And
Right.
so my views went down, and I got very, very, very frustrated. But talking to some bigger YouTubers, guys with like 200, 300,000 subs and all that stuff that really get really good views, I've asked their opinion about it. So this interview tonight was supposed to be on, it's called Outdoors in Maryland, and it's called a Crab Shack Outdoors in Maryland podcast.
Yeah.
But I felt bad doing that because I might not have got as many views because this is my main channel. So I ended up at the last minute knocking it off that one and putting it on, my regular YouTube channel. And so once it posts, I'll even promote it some more, and might take some clippets. This will be on my other channel, though. I'm going to put it over there too, because I'm going to start putting content over there. I might throw some shorts on that one because it's just the beginning, but that one there, and he has 2,000. I mean, 2 subscribers. Where this, I'm getting close. Oh, getting so close. I'm getting close.
I saw your subscriber count. I know you were trying to grow it. I shared it from your YouTube so people could figure out. But again, we could have probably went live on our pages if I would just went through StreamYard, I suppose.
If you went through StreamYard, I could have gave you the link, and you could have went live on anything you wanted to go live on Facebook, or I could have did that.
Yeah, we should have just.
But that's all right. So, what I like to do is really appreciate that you came on. I feel last week I had a couple guys on, both of them had podcasts too. But we were all talking fishing. And there's been two shows that I've done, and for some reason, you ever feel like I'm not talking right? It's not coming out. I don't have any questions. The questions aren't coming out, because I like just to be more of a conversation and stuff. I want to get to
I
know
just
you.
keep talking. Dustin's like, Jen, be quiet.
Well, see, that's the point. I was watching. I said, well, when I was watching the Going Our Corner, I was like, he ain't got to ask her any questions, man. She's just going. She's just talking. I was like, but that's kind of good. It
I
helps.
really enjoy myself. So what you don't know about me is I actually I used to be a podcast host. I only came into it just accidentally. I had a podcast just like yourself reach out to me, and they're like, so we wanted to have you on our podcast, but it sounds like we want to hire you. And I'm like, wait, what? They're like, what do you do? I'm like, well, I'm a social media marketer. I'm a strategist. I do art. I run pages. I was born in the era of computers. This is my thing, right? Um, I've been trying to do this and make money from it for quite some time. I've been building it from the bottom up, and I think I stuck with some companies that really paid me good and continually paid me on time. And gosh, I ran a bass trail out of California. I ran a rod holder company.
You had one out of Mississippi, and then you got the one out
I
of Florida.
I did some rods. I did some. Oh my gosh, I've done all kinds of things. Just whatever you name it. Business cards. Whatever pays the bills, right? And
That's right.
keeps us fishing.
Hey, if it keeps you fishing and it keeps you not, if it's not feeling like work, then it's not so bad.
It's right. I will tell you, I got racked up a little bit because I did a lot of work for a big company, and I don't miss that. I feel like I'm not doing anything and not enough, but there's a lot of changes that we've had to go through. Like, you have a wife of a long time, because you guys have to learn to live together 24 hours out of a day. And that was really difficult for us. We already spent a lot of time together. Yeah.
You're used to being gone, like me going
He was
to work,
working full
gone for
time,
9
12
hours,
hours a
come
day.
home, do whatever you had to do around the house, yard work or whatever, go fishing,
She also had a job where they tell you what to do, and when you work from home, you don't have anybody to tell you what to do, except for me and Jen.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, you're right, sure.
So cracking that whip, trying to get them to learn how, and men don't really, I got to be gentle on him. Men really don't learn like women do. It was hard for him to multitask or to learn. But he hated me for a while. We didn't really like each other for a long time. We were trying to balance that work. We still are. It's difficult because we spend a lot of time together. What's helping
You're
us
going to be
now?
doing all that traveling, though. You're going to be traveling stuff.
We were, but Dalen's stuff kind of really held precedence this time, so we had to do her stuff. And I'm telling you, by the time we did the huge party for her and all that, it took all of our fishing money and said, see ya. So now we got to make more.
all the sports, she was in all the sports, and you wanted to go
Plus,
see all of them.
Plus, we had to take her college visits. She
She
spent all of our money and still plans on spending every bit of the rest. So, no, they are. And she's she realizes that she's going to have to do this. Luckily, we were, quote unquote, poor enough that she's been able to get a lot of scholarships and work hard. We've helped her get that stuff done.
And heck, she's going into sports media and journalism and
something like we're doing, but with
she loves
football.
She loves football.
She's a football person.
I got her more.
Is it all college from Nebraska? I would think it's more college football, though, right?
It's college football, and we are huge fans. Our parents are fans. There's only a few things to do in Nebraska: fishing, football,
and
hunting.
And that's pretty much it
for us.
But I guess when you grow up, because I grew up in the city, and I moved to now this is nowhere near like Nebraska, but
we've seen it. We came to Camp Candlewood and we almost died looking at what we saw from the plane.
Yep.
I've never seen anything. I still to this day cannot wrap my head around what I saw.
What you see?
I feel like I've been lied to my whole life.
What do you mean? What you see?
I just didn't realize it looked like that.
What, the city?
Yeah,
we flew in.
Then we went through
New York.
We flew into New York. We
got to rent a car, and then
LaGuardia, or whatever it's called.
Yeah, and then we had Google take us to where we needed to go, and it took us right through the Bronx. And
it's
at nighttime, so I mean, there was a funeral.
My kids
A
go,
funeral
Mom,
along the block. There's a funeral
you
going
better
on.
roll your windows up right now. I was like, oh my gosh, New York, we're on the bridge. And we look, and I'm like,
Oh,
is that a ritual? Or what is that?
It was crazy.
We're not like well, I grew up in, I used to hang out down in Baltimore City, so that it isn't like the has the best reputation, but around the Inner Harbor and stuff, if you ever did come here, to go down to the Inner Harbor during the day would be it's a really nice place down there to see the aquarium and all that stuff.
We went at the wrong time in the night. It was not good.
Yeah.
No, it's
Beautiful
not
at
bad.
Camp Candlewood,
What's
but
that?
beautiful at Camp Candlewood and all those areas, but that was terrifying. I'd never seen anything like that.
Yeah, it's not. It's definitely not. It's definitely not Nebraska. The
No.
but what I did like when I moved over to the Eastern Shore of Maryland, where it's definitely more laid back and stuff, and the people were nicer. So I I really like it. I like. I don't know. I kind of like peace and quiet, but I don't know. I guess being where you're at and being where you're at, that coming to the city, I don't know. It's kind of weird. Kind of weird. I mean,
It's a little weird.
but
But
if you go to, I seen you went and caught some. When down in Florida, you went and caught some peacock bass.
Yeah.
They got the bullseye snakehead down there.
Yeah.
oh,
I think she actually had a snakehead
I
on
caught one in the gutter hole,
Mhm.
or,
the drain tube.
but I'm like,
and
it
broke
just
her
went
off.
gone.
It was a big fish.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's pretty
I
nice.
cast it straight down that pipe, and that fish was inside there. I'm like, I'm gonna cast in there. I got to. Sure as shit, gone. I'm like, oh, but they fish with minnows. Like
Yeah.
I wasn't ready for that.
That's a good way to catch snakeheads down here. Anything, catch snakeheads with just a bobber and a minnow. But
This is just a hook and
Yeah, it's just hook
a
minnow. No,
string.
there's no nothing. You just cast it out and let the minnow swim naturally.
I actually
peacock.
casted. We both casted the minnow off 10 times because we didn't realize how easy it was. We're just not fresh.
We're not
fresh
used to
bait
using
fishermen.
we don't use live bait.
We casted their eyeball off.
all right,
Just a little too far.
that's kind of cool. I mean, like I said, I appreciate you coming on. I know you were probably saying, "Who in the hell is this guy texting me on this podcast?"
I just go with it. I mean, I would love to meet these people. I snooped over your stuff. I checked your wife out. It's like, oh, this is cool. There's people like us that actually do this. You guys have to somehow, some way, we will try to make our way that direction. We've got friends in your area. I can't see that it's all that far away, is it? I mean, how close are you to Connecticut when you're in Maryland? Is that a far away? I don't even know.
Is that above or below New York?
See, you're about as good as I am. We flunked.
Connecticut's above. It was above.
It's not that far. They're so close together.
Yeah.
Surely it's not that far. But anyway, we have some dear friends that we went to Camp Candlewood and did a 501c3 for kids. Some of those kids were from New York and had never even seen the lake before.
Mm-mm.
We stayed a week.
We're about 4 hours from New York.
Oh yeah.
About 4 hours from New York.
That ain't bad. That's the same distance it is for us to go to Lincoln to watch the Huskers play football. If we want to.
Yeah. Get in your car and drive. It's not that bad. They have record smallies in there, bro.
I've caught a smallmouth about this big once.
Oh, they're monster fish.
Yeah, they're catching 4 or 5 pound smallmouth.
Do you enjoy catching any freshwater fish?
That's all. I'm a freshwater fisherman. I'm not a saltwater fisherman.
No salties. You would prefer to do freshwater?
I grew up bass fishing, watching Bill Dance and Hank Parker and Jimmy Houston and Roland Martin. That's who I grew up, and that was my big thing was freshwater. But I'm close.
You're the same age as we are. I bet you're the same age as we are.
I'm 57.
Who we grew up with.
I'm 57.
Oh, you're about 10 years older.
Yeah, I'm an old dude. I just look good for my age, don't I, honey? Yeah.
You've been living the life up there in the fishing zone.
But yeah,
your wife, she fed you good.
Well, we have the bay up here, and my boat, I have I'm pretty much an express boat. It's more of a John boat flat bottom, and I do mostly freshwater fishing. But it's very fun. The only saltwater stuff that I do is when me and my wife are out crabbing. We go crabbing.
I would love to do that.
it's kind of fun. Now, see, I was supposed to tomorrow. I get to go commercial crabbing. So my friend, this whole thing with the women and promote them really
He's
has a lot.
bragging.
Huh?
I said, man, must on your wife. He's bragging.
But that was my inspiration, was because my next door neighbor, I get to go out with her, and she makes a living working on the water. So she blue crabs all summer long, and then in the wintertime, she's out on the bay and she does oystering. If you want to check
Oh,
them videos out, I got a couple of videos of her while I'm out. It's 20 degrees, it's raining, sleeting. 20, the first time, oh, I ain't got that video up there. Damn it, I will show you that video. I don't have it.
I can't wait to do some crab and stuff like that. We love to do
I
anything
like
that's
learning new
different. Me
stuff. Yeah.
too. We've been
It,
trying to do as many things, I don't know, as many things as we can. We got on the boat and learned how to get walleye. Now we're like, well, what's next?
well, that's cool. Well, Jen and Dustin, look, thank you. I really appreciate you coming on because, as I'm trying to get guests and everything, I'm trying to find people that I think, and I thought you were very interesting. You got a great story. You kick ass, you guys, especially as a team, but you guys kick ass fishing. And like I said, you're really, really going to start. I want you to kick up a little bit more on the Instagram, a little bit more. I know you're doing everybody else's. I'm sitting there going, I wanted some,
Where's our Instagram?
and your YouTube video. Start putting some shorts up on there and
Yeah.
posting that.
We've got some good footage. I feel like now we can settle down a little bit. I think we were running on empty with Galen stuff, but I think we should probably, I told Dustin, like you said, I'm not sure we'll stick even in the bass fishing part of it. I love that, but there's so much more out there. I mean, we can tournament fish bass. We can also tournament crappie. There's other organizations I think that we can look at. On top of that, I think we might even do something ourselves, maybe a 501c3 in our area to kind of give back to people. I don't know if it'll be veterans or mental health people or what have you, but we don't have a lot of things in our area to help people. So maybe we might have to start that. If it's not
That's a really
children
good.
or adults or, that might be kind of what we're looking at.
You'd be really surprised how many people would come out and help you do that, because I know that's a big thing down here. I think we have. I think there was an organization you were talking about, Heroes on the Water. I think you were. Wait, ain't that what it is? They
Yeah.
have that around here. I had a gentleman on, Scott Steers. He's Lucky and Blessed Fishing. He does a lot of stuff like you did with the kids. They never really, disabled kids and stuff and veterans. And so, yeah, that's really cool. And if there's anything that you want to come back on and, you want to come back on and talk about it or anything, or that would be awesome. Like I said, I always keep track of all the people that I have on. I'm always making sure I keep up on their stuff. So, you guys
I
have
will
been.
give you, I've got the hookup of some names and numbers and some people. I'll see who's all been on your podcast, because I used to have to do your job and go find the guests for my podcast. So we had you will get there because we had over 350,000 downloads on that podcast. So
That's awesome.
eventually we started off with like 4,000, and by the time it was all done, you had 350,000. So, and listeners everywhere except for Antarctica.
Really? So now I haven't put this on like Spotify or anything like that yet.
Sure.
Like this is at the beginning. I'm at the beginning stages of doing this, and right now it's mainly on both my Facebook pages, and it's going to be on my YouTube page.
Yeah.
So I thought about doing that. I mean, that might be kind of interesting.
I think you can do iHeartRadio too. I think that that's one that will play your podcast. And like you said, Spotify. Spotify is where we used to play ours, and Libsyn, right?
Listen, okay,
No.
yeah, I know what you're about. Yeah.
No, I'm wrong. I can't think of what that's called. Remember, I used to post about it where we used
No, I
to
think
watch.
it's Listen. I think you're right.
I know, but what? I thought it was called Patch or Kitch. Anyway, I can't remember. But there's a lot of places to put those podcasts so you can gain your viewers.
Your following, gain your viewers.
I shared it too, and I'll keep sharing it.
I appreciate it. Like I said, you ever down this way, you are more than happy to, I can take you on a boat, or I can hook you up with some guys down here that actually really know how to catch some snakeheads.
We'll keep your word because we're coming.
Well, like I said, if you're coming, you give me some heads up, and I'll try to hook you up with the right people to take you out, because they'll get you right there, because they're all kayak. A lot of guys
can take us on your boat. We can boat fish. We just have to aim a little farther out.
I've never boat fished off my boat, but I mean that wouldn't be. I've been talking. It's kind of funny. I was talking to the wife. I said, you know what? I really need to set the front of that boat up so we can go ahead and do some bow fishing on it
It
that
would
day
be
next week.
fun. I think so too. I think people give you a little bit of a tough time. I did
Yeah.
have my actual first PETA person come after me and tell me I was a murderer for fishing. I was like,
Really?
oh no. So,
Oh
I
my
mean, I
God.
deleted the comment, but I'm sure we'd get all kinds of guff about it. But
Some people just have nothing else better to do.
I know. Well, I mean, it is invasive here. My husband is like, oh my gosh, they've got to take care of this. There are so many carp.
Yeah, the carp are
It's
crazy,
bad.
crazy here. I mean, the whole lake's filled with them, and they don't even have carp shoots anymore. I don't know.
Right
I
here,
might
I think the carp are spawning.
Yeah.
Oh, it's crazy. Like that's why we weren't catching many walleye last week because the carp were spawning.
Oh yeah,
It was
just
nuts.
constant. Like you see 5, 6 of them in a group, then you see 10 or 15 of them in a group, and they're
But
all splashing.
huge honkers
Yeah,
like
they're
you've
big.
never seen.
My bass tracker is rigged for bow fishing. There's man.
See? We're gonna talk you in. Wait till you share some of that social media.
Yep.
People love that, especially when
What's
you put the lights on it. I like
Yeah.
it.
That's
And
cool.
I can see. I've always wanted to see the guy that does it with us. He's like, go straight to the dam, Jen.
Oh,
I'm like,
you read that. Matt says his bass tracker great for bow fishing.
Matt. Now you gotta get a bow. That's your next purchase, Matt.
Yeah. It's her buddy.
We can talk fishing all night, so we should probably let you go.
No, I'm good. I don't have to work tomorrow. Usually, last week. Let's see. Now, last week I was with some guys, and once I actually we were me and the other 3 guys, me and the other 2 guys, us 3 were sitting back. The other 2 guys were talking, really having such a really good conversation that you're just listening, and you were actually having good. But then, my last podcast was over 3 hours. And, my
So yeah,
butt
we
started,
burned
my
through
butt
the
started
time.
hurting. My butt was hurting, man, after that one.
Well,
Well,
and it's starting to get hot. When the dog starts peeing, because I didn't want to hear like the air blowing in my face. She's like, "Mom, please." No, I don't know. We're totally ecstatic. I was shocked when I said, I'm like, Dustin, I'm like, they're from Maryland. I'm like, that's a long ways away. But we'd actually went on was the Deck Talk podcast. So I thought that maybe that's where you saw me, but
I
just go.
I seen you. The first time I seen you was on the Coanger Corner, and then I watched the one where you both were on. You were both on. I think the podcast. I didn't listen to the one that it was just the podcast. It was another YouTube one with you and Dustin on. I was watching the other day. I wanted to get freshened up on everything, so I've watched them a couple times to kind of
I get to talking and laughing, then I don't pay attention, and I'm ready to go fishing. Doesn't like, come on.
She likes to talk, and I just sit there and let her go. Keep her on track.
It takes me every once in a while to make me move on. So.
Well, maybe after I think usually I let everybody go summertime, then come fall. Maybe I ask a couple of them, like Cindy, see how her year went, and then maybe I'll ask you guys to come back on in the fall to let you know how your tournament season went.
Fall's our favorite time to go fishing around here. That's when we like to get out.
I feel like we catch lunkers too. I feel like September, October, plus you're gonna still get more of those giant wiper coming back in. We're shocked that they were really out as early, but the fishing was just strange altogether. We're hoping that we kind of missed the really initial spawn, I think, because we were busy with Dale and stuff.
We were busy, and then we had lake levels were changing, and it was always getting a cold front coming in and get cold. So
we had snow up until like last month, so I mean,
really,
we're headed back into the 80s.
I don't want to get snow like that all the time. Yeah, I mean, you guys get some how deep? I mean, what's the deepest you had it out there? Had to be good.
Oh, we've had feet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
there was one when I was at work, and I remember I had to move all the snow for it. And it was 18 inches, I think, in one day. And it just with the wind, it piles up 18 inches is
we've
a
had
lot of snow, especially when it drifts.
Driftings where you can't get out your own driveway, clear up past up your door.
I mean, there's been times I had to call into work because I couldn't get out of my driveway because there's that much snow. I'm like, I can't make it. I'm sorry.
We and
also down here you get a dusting and people flip out. Schools are closed and everything.
Well, nobody knows how to drive in it.
Oh my God.
Yep.
You guys, so what's the biggest? I mean, you guys hunt too. So I mean, so is it just deer? Do you go bear hunting, all that good stuff?
We don't have bear. We mostly go deer hunting, turkey.
No bears up there?
And all that.
No bears here.
No bears.
We have moose. We have elk.
The moose is very, very rare.
It's just now coming down.
Yeah,
this
we've
area.
had one around the area that they've spotted around north of us, but it's just kind of a single loner by itself. Then we have elk. They've moved in, and now they actually have a hunting season for them here. Now mountain lions are back now, so we have mountain lions. You got to watch out
Nice.
for.
Okay.
It's
I
all
believe
on.
I saw one at the lake the other day,
Yeah.
but just the back half of it. And I was driving with my remote, and if you push just a little bit, you reverse like 5 feet too much, and then the tree got in the way, so I couldn't find it again. But
I like
I
Maryland.
saw the back half of the back, let's say the hip of like a cat tail,
Right.
and the tail, but it was color of a deer, but I never got a good glimpse of it. But I'd heard that we had some in the area.
Well, we got
And
bear,
we're
but
down
they're
by
in the
the lake,
mountains.
so.
They're in the mountains. I'm down here in the flat ground, and I'm telling you what, I'm staying here in Maryland because I think one thing we got to deal with. So can I tell them the bear story? Sure. Go ahead. I'm a city slicker. I think I didn't start hunting to, I think I was in my 40s. We went into the mountains, and the first thing I asked my buddy, we're not going to see any bears out here, right? Nope. I've been going out there I've never seen a bear once. And damn it, if I wasn't sitting on the ground and freaking bear and 3 cubs was walking behind me, now I'm from the city, and it's so, I'm seriously. So that was, and I had it. So the bear walked in between me and my friend that I asked earlier that day. He thinks it's funny, right? Then he walks up on my other buddy, walks right up on my buddy Keith, and he spooks him. And man, you talking about a beeline, straight as an arrow coming right at me, full blast running right towards me. Stopped about maybe, I don't know, 20 yards away, stood up on a rock. And for a city slicker, I can say I kept my calm. I'd stay there calm, and it ran away. And I said, all right, I want to go back to the Eastern Shore where there's snakes.
That was snakes too. No. I still have to like grin and bear it. I mean, there's some things I don't like, y'all. Okay. I'm still very girly about some things and not very girly about others. I do not like grasshoppers. I think that is the most terrible thing. You
And
can't
June bugs, grasshoppers and June
you
bugs.
can't control them. They're all over your hair. I have long hair, and it's just not a good combination. I don't know what my deal is with it.
Fry 'em, they're good.
Spiders. I mean, we've been fishing our butts off, and we'll go by the dam, and there will be massive spiders on the wall, and I'm just constantly, like, oh my
Looking on a
God,
kayak,
like,
seeing
Gotta
it
be-
on the kayak.
But the grasshoppers have got to be good bait to use for a bass.
that's what Dustin says. I tried to use gloves because I was trying to, my brain would not let me pick them up. I tried so hard. I bait my own hook. I don't know what the heck my problem is. It's just grasshoppers.
Grasshoppers are very good for catfish.
No, I feel like as soon as they wig out in your hand, you can't hold one. Like they flick. Oh no.
And that's because when they grab you on with them little feet, they grab
Here
on you.
from Nebraska, the grasshoppers are this big.
That's
They're
good.
not
You got
little.
plenty
You
of
ask
like
my
2
husband.
fish.
He used to make me get a big ice cream bowl, go out to their grandparents' house.
I take my fishing net. I
He
go
cut me a
running through the
hole in the
weeds,
bowl.
and I
He's
catch
like,
a whole
just
bunch of
grab
grasshoppers.
it and throw it in. I'm like, okay.
And then we
So I
go.
went and got Grandpa Brooks's gloves because I knew I couldn't pick that shit up. I knew it. I put the glove on and I'd try to get it and it would start going, and I'd be like, so I couldn't do it. It didn't work out for me.
I had the baiter hook for it.
I can't. I still to this day. I don't like leeches either. That's not something I really like to.
I'm not.
I don't do that.
I don't have to deal with that down here. I don't know. Maryland's don't get too cold, don't get too hot. Well, it does get pretty damn hot down here. It's kind of humid today, but don't get too crazy. Who's this?
I used to.
I have those monster spiders hop on the kayak with me more times than I can count. In Susquehanna, up on the Susquehanna. Yeah, that's where
if you start talking areas, and I know exactly where that's at because I'm a mapper. I look some of the fishermen that we have on a group that I run their socials. They fish the Susquehanna there.
Yeah, that's got if you go above the dam, there's smallmouth below the dam, but as you go up in towards like PA and stuff, that's where you really catch.
That is where I was talking about Pennsylvania, and there's massive smallmouth there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You come down here, we have some smallmouth down here. You can catch some on the lower end of the dam, but it's more, you get largemouth and smallmouth there. They do have some walleye.
I'll tell you what, though, that puts our smallmouth to shame. Those are lunker smallmouth.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I don't know.
That's a beautiful place.
But
Now that I think about the geography, I know exactly right where you're at.
yeah, I'm right on the Chesapeake Bay. You
Yeah,
go
yeah.
up. I'm right on the Chesapeake Bay. It's right where it's like right where like Louisiana, where they have
Yeah, yeah,
fresh and the saltwater mix. And like I
yeah.
said, as you go up, and you have there's so much variety of fish down here from saltwater, because as the further you go down, the more species. They're actually talking about. We're actually starting to see shrimp come up the bay. We can
Oh,
catch shrimp. I think that is absolutely. I think that would be so much fun. Be out there at nighttime. You flash some lights out on the water, and all you're doing is just dipping little. Man, and so you guys are you guys seafood? I mean, do you get much seafood up there?
No, no. I mean, you got to go to Walmart to get seafood here.
it's no good.
Yeah, it's not good.
There's no good seafood. In fact, we would travel to Colorado and they would have it all flown in, but still,
It still
nothing fresh.
takes longer to get there. It's not really fresh. You don't
I
have the
would
flavor.
think.
When we went to Texas, we had like the freshest seafood ever, and it's
Oh my
like
gosh, we didn't even
it's a
stop
whole
eating it.
different flavor. I mean, you get the saltiness to it still. I mean, with your shrimp or anything, it's
I
just
feel
like
like it
so
didn't
much
even
better.
taste like seafood there. Like it's super fishy here. I think by the time it gets to us, we're the beef state. We're
Yeah,
the
that's it.
beef state.
See, but down here, I think we have a big YouTuber down here. His name is Luke McFadden. He's a commercial crabber,
Is it
and he Luke McFadden.
Luke
Luke
McFadden?
Yeah, he's a Maryland crabber. You put Luke in there, and he's got like he's like million subscribers on TikTok, and now he's got like a 500,000 on YouTube. So
Wow.
he's pretty big. He lives close, but he he has teamed up with somebody. You can actually have some fresh crabs steamed that day and sent overnight to you. I
Oh,
don't know
I
what
didn't
kind of
know.
I don't know what kind of no you know what you actually might have to let a professional show you how to pick some crabs.
Oh, we would. We don't have any idea. We'll make you a fat steak and get you some really good, something different. Like we'll
maybe a
have to
ribeye, a
trade,
T-bone,
right?
something like that. That's all we can
We're
do.
definitely the beef steak. I mean, and being that we don't get a lot of freshwater fish, we don't eat it as often either because it's just not. And we're not Catholic, we're Christian, so we don't have to eat it on Fridays. So I feel like we kind of, I don't know.
I'd rather catch them than eat them.
We catch so many. It's the same. I could say it's the only thing you could go catch a cow and it doesn't taste like a cow.
You
You
catch
catch a
cow.
fish and it
You
tastes like
guys
a fish.
you say you guys are catching cows? What the hell? Did you just say? Did I
Listen,
miss
like,
something? Did I just miss something?
no, I'm
Are
just
they
saying.
they're cow tipping out in freaking Nebraska? No, I'm just
You
kidding.
don't want to try that. It doesn't work. It's not safe.
Don't believe it.
No, I'm
It's
just
calving season right now. You'll get killed.
It's like snipe hunting.
It's bad. You
That's
learn
cool.
from a young age. Dustin came from he's a farmer boy. His family are farmers. So
Yeah, we raise cattle.
there's no cow tipping.
I've raised cattle and never went cow tipping in my life.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
knows.
I just I don't know. I figure I'd never throw it in there.
I did something my mother-in-law taught me and got in big trouble. Dustin's mom used to holler at the cows and she'd say, come on, and so I don't know, we were supposed to be at church groups spray painting addresses on people's curbs, but we took a detour out in the country and doing a little bit of bumper sledding, what cowboy kids do. And so I
Biggest
go,
one
come
ever
on.
caught.
What?
That's probably one of the biggest one I ever caught there, Matt. My name's Sam, by the way. I don't think I even introduced my name. My name's Sam. And
I never. Yeah, he probably is looking all over for your name. Give him the right spelling.
yeah, it's Sam, and the Crab Shack's the new thing. It's because that's the dumbest thing. Right in my
Wife's
back
name
door.
though?
What's that?
What's your wife's name?
Lori,
Lori.
the boss, the Crab Queen Slayer.
See, Lori invented this thing. I can feel it.
Yeah, she's like you. She's all dainty. She spent I think she spent 6 hours doing her hair the other day. She had to wash it.
I'm a 1 hour girl. I just fake it.
She washed it, and she had to wash it, and then she had to dye it, and then she had to blow dry, and then she had to twirl
I love
it.
you, Lori. It's okay. We still hold our own fish.
She's a little. She might. They're saying hi. She's saying hi to you. She goes, "You guys will get along great." She's got look. Come here, hon.
I know. I went to see you. I seen you guys on your little caricature thing for your
You
logo.
don't ever look terrible. She looks terrible. Look at her. That's typical what she says. She looks flipping her hair. Come on. Hold on, let me see if
What a good husband. We love you. We wanted to meet you too. See? I knew you reminded me of me. I saw your blonde hair in the things. So we don't care if it took you 6 hours. I just managed to hurry up because I had to work.
right. See, that's it. But yeah. So if you ever are going to come up this way,
Yep.
and if it's during the summertime, I'll be more than happy to take you out to do some crabbing out on the Chesapeake Bay. We'll catch some
Heck
crabs,
yeah.
bring them back, steam them, and this I don't.
I'm totally doing this. This sounds like something we would absolutely love. For
And
real.
look, this is not. Please don't take this anywhere because we are not creepy people. At least I don't think I might be. I might look creepy,
I just
but
go for it. If you
we got a bed here.
I'm screwed.
You're just
What's
fattening
that?
us up to eat us.
I know. We believed the rod builder. He got us home safely. We partied with him in Florida. We had a really good time with him. We took some chances too. We didn't know. He could have been a weirdo.
Right.
But he invited us. We even slept in his bed. So
There's not many people in the fishing community you really got to worry about.
not really. I feel like we're all pretty much the same. I mean, if there's somebody creepy, I feel like we'll get the maybe a bigger alert.
Yeah, I mean, I would. Yeah, that's cool. But this has actually been pretty fun. So if you guys ever want to come back on, which I think come fall, I'll definitely ask you to come back on and see how your fishing season. And I'm always rooting for you because I keep an eye on your tournaments and stuff. But
we are qualified. We both got qualified. So we got qualified for the 2025 KBF. I don't know where it's at. I don't know anything about it. Before I go, I should mention all of our sponsors.
you go right.
We
You name whoever you
Yak
want.
Attack. Yeah, what's that? I'm sorry.
I said you are more than happy to name whoever you want.
We have Bonafide. Bonafide is our original. We're gonna cheat. We have Bonafide. We have One Objective Fishing. One Objective is all of our mount solutions for our kayaks, right? So if you need a mount for your Motor Guide XI3, you're gonna head to One Objective Bass Fishing, or BF, I guess.
OnDeckWithBF.com.
We're both Z Pro. I'm Z Pro Batteries. That's our lifting battery company. We're Rogue Gear. That's all your tethering. And I use their tether to pull up my Motor Guide and to release it and to put it back in.
We also use their phone. They have the ones for phones, so you don't drop your phone in the water. It's one of the best things they have, is having something attached to you. You always have a phone. You want to take a picture, take a phone call. Phones are $1,000 a piece now if you're buying them and all that, and they're expensive. So you protect your investments.
Dustin almost got a divorce because I lost a couple. Is that your doggy? Oh, we love dogs. I am a dog lover.
Matt
I just was sweating here, laying here sweating.
We got sisters here. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to stop you. We got
You're
two
right,
sisters
they're
here.
adorable. I saw them.
We got a pool today, so I come home from work. And in the back, I'm like, why is there a towel here? I mean, what the hell happened? Then the dogs come running down there and they're wet. So my wife went out and we've put them in the pool before, but they've never got in it. You know what I mean? By themselves. She said she walked out there and they were chasing each other in the pool and they were barking at each other and they were soaking wet. They ripped up her little temperature gauge that was in there. So that's the kind of little.
With naughty dogs.
Yeah,
how old are your dogs?
Yeah, they're sisters. They're a little over a year, but how long? A year? No. A little over a year. I lost my buddy 2 years ago. I'm sorry. Don't worry. You can do it. We're not going to go anywhere. We're definitely going to make sure we talk about your sponsors. I lost my buddy. He was only 8 years old. He had epilepsy, and then what?
7.
What did I say?
8.
He's 7. All right, correct me. 7 years old, and he's gone too young as a chocolate lab, and that one really hurt pretty bad. So so I said, that's it. I'm done with dogs. Once Daisy goes, and that's my 180-pound Saint Bernard over here. I got a 180-pound Saint Bernard. and it looks just like Beethoven. So that's what my Saint Bernard looks like. She's probably one of the best dogs when it comes to temperament and just easiest training dog. I mean, stubborn, but I told her that's it. When she's done, I'm doing no more dogs, no more dogs.
Oh,
And
I
then
know.
I kept
How
seeing
crazy.
Instagram. Every time I turn around, there was a damn chocolate lab on Instagram. And I said, all right. So we went and got Summer, and she had a little bit of a medical issue. So the girl goes, somebody backed out on one of her sisters. Would you want to switch dogs and take take Star instead of Summer? I'm like, no, 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 no. We want Summer. But I tell you what, if you give me a deal, we'll take them both.
Aw.
What was I
Labs need a friend. They're ornery as heck, aren't they?
Oh my God, they're I don't you go, what was I
Gertrude, our
thinking?
stare, she did some naughty stuff. She did some ornery things.
She hasn't gotten in the trash yet or anything like that most labs like to do.
She's a pretty good girl, but we also had 4 of us telling her what the heck to do all the time.
Right.
Our
Right.
first lab, we were kids, and she was so naughty. Oh my gosh, she was.
The kids were younger, and she got fed whatever the kids fed her.
We don't do that with this dog.
All that stuff smaller, and this dog's a whole different story.
She's a lot better girl though. She minds better. She knows the difference between like people food and dog food.
Right.
We tried to sharpen it up because our other dog was so naughty. So we tried to, but we love her. We take this stinking dog everywhere. I swore that no dog was going to be on my sofa, and here she is right in the middle. If you reread
I'm with you, sister. I'm with you. I don't want no dogs on my couch, no dogs on my bed. And what are they doing? One of them's laying on the couch.
I literally got pillows for the sofa that says it's for the dogs, so it can explain the dog hair.
All right, go ahead with your sponsors. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you like that.
No, it's good. I love dogs, and my brain works this way, so I'll keep right up with you. But we also have Yak Attack. Yak Attack's doing big things. We got new wheels for Yak Attack. We've got, oh my gosh, new colors, orange. Yak Attack is moving big stuff.
And they're not just for kayaks. They have stuff for boats too. They have stuff that you can hook up to your boat if you wanted to. So I mean, don't just think that Yak Attack's only for kayaks. It's for the boating world too.
Line cutters we use to cut our braid. Everybody's pretty much familiar with line cutters. If you're not, it's a tool to cut fishing braid. I used to bite it with my teeth. I have like a permanent notch in my tooth from doing
they have braid holes and all that stuff.
I still bite braid. It's really bad. You shouldn't do it.
She bites braid.
You don't do that. Nobody do that. Don't do that at home, children. I have a permanent mark in my tooth from cutting braid, so I can do it really good, but I wouldn't recommend that. So I do use a tool. Z-Pro had actually partnered up with Line Cutters, I called them, and they made some of the rings. So I use a Z-Pro ring that was made by Line Cutters. It's a little bit of promo that way too. So who else? We've got
Wicked Weights. They're your tungsten weights.
Yeah.
We got Golitas grubs. That's the thing that we've been using quite a bit here lately. That's what we've got a lot of our wipers on. These trailers. They're just an old school grub, that he makes.
They come 25 to a pack. They have, a handful of your favorite colors, ones we always use. Right. And he is the thing about John has been a Jen fan. John's in, don't quote me, but I believe he's 87 or he's up there. But he's a 1979 Bassmaster that kind of followed me, just like found me the same way you found me, through social media. And him and his wife have just encouraged me so much. They make me feel like I'm the most special, important. They cheer me on, and they keep me. I share their baits with anybody that will listen, and I truly believe in them because it's literally like a Mr. Twister, nothing fancy. They last forever, 25 to a pack.
They're very durable.
They come scented. I don't know. They're old school.
That's good. But I mean, that gets everything.
It is. And I'm putting them on my buzz baits, his trailers, on my jackhammers. Gives it scent, and I always put them tail up. He insists they need to be tail up, or you fish them with the. You also fish them with a jig head, and he's like, doesn't even matter the old school, just the regular jig head. But
nobody fishes lizards anymore.
For these last couple of years, we are working with Cast King. I've got some more work to do before I go full blast with them. We've got hook. Who?
What, Hooked Outdoor TV?
Hooked Outdoor TV is also newer. Let me see here.
We all got the rods, Power Core rods, and then she's got the Girls Fish Better. Both
That's
by
right.
the same guy, just different group.
And I think Billy, I mean, oh, we have new. New is Yak Power. We just got Yak Power. Yak Power is going to be the lights. They also have a phone holder that's going to be able to charge your phone
while it holds it on your kayak.
Right. There's a lot of new lights that are going to be. I'll try to keep everybody posted. And Dustin's been getting.
I'm working on it today. That's what I was working on today.
Yeah, I worked on all the media and the socials today, and he was in the garage today putting all the Yak Power together. So, and that's a hard job. I mean, we fished in some mud last, and our kayaks were muddy, shitty muddy, like it was bad. So by the time he got all that cleaned up, and then added all of the new lights and the Gooby gone, and took off the old logo, the old decals. I mean, Dustin probably had his hands full today. So.
And then you got Rock Porch.
Rock Porch is new. Rock Porch is designed for people, a platform for people like me, content producers and creators to almost like affiliated marketing. And I've got a lot of work to do with them. They're wanting me to do some more meetings, but again, I feel like I've been trying to work here and do here. I'm such a wanted person because everybody needs media that I feel like I'm going 25 directions at a time. But Rock Porch is
doesn't drive you nuts.
More to come from them.
A lot of aspirin. Yeah.
More to come from them. Yeah, and we use American Tackle specifically because Warren with Power Core rods and Girls Fish Better, he uses the Featherlight microwave guides.
And it's amazing what it does.
Okay.
Line, whenever you're casting, it makes it where you can cast farther. Your line gets pushed down, and
it's actually
crazy how it works.
We've been using one that is a ceramicless. So you remember really on our tips where you guys have that ceramic ring and it'd fall out every once in a while. You'd see that little ring fall out. These are ceramicless, don't have the ring. They're I don't know if they're a stainless steel, but they're lightweight material. Like they're feather light for sure.
They're great.
That's awesome. That's it.
That should be all of them.
That's cool. You guys are really, I mean, so you got a couple new ones and you got some guys. Bonafide's been sticking with you for how many years now?
We've been with Bonafide for 8 years.
Yep.
Yak Attack is the same amount of time. Bonafide and Yak Attack used to be sister companies from Luther Cipher, and now that's split up, and now it's Big Adventures for Bonafide, and Luther Cipher is still with Yak Attack.
Okay. Well, that's cool. Well, hey, man, like I said, high off the hook outdoors. Yeah. Hi. Hey, what's up? Off the hook. Off the hook outdoors. That's
well,
cool.
if you ever need
I appreciate everybody that's out there. What's that?
I said, if you ever need any media from us, you know where to look us up.
Anybody looking for media, just get a hold of Jen.
I have a few open spots. I can probably help everybody, but I'll give you a time frame and let you know what I can do for you. And you guys can always follow us. You don't get business from us, so you can watch our fishing.
Yep, I'll do that. And like I said, I'm gonna put you on my other channel, and I'll be putting some. I'm gonna try to put some. I don't want to put no shorts on YouTube. I just think that screws up my long form. But on like Instagram and Facebook and stuff, I'm going to start posting more on Facebook. More video stuff. I actually got I kind of got a plan myself that I want to do, and the problem is just me. I'm a very I'm a little unorganized and a procrastinator. Is that
just
what
get it out there? You'd be surprised.
She was like, she went thumbs up, like, yep, that's you.
I'm the same.
I have to ride Dustin. I'm like, come on, let's do this. Come on.
And I wait until the last minute to get it done. That's me.
But
once I get into it, it gets done real quick, and it gets done. But it's just getting me there. Yeah, right. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I appreciate. What's that?
I said my phone's dying, so we're cutting this out.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate
you know what happened.
I know.
All right, you're heading down this way. You just give me a shout, and we'll definitely try to do something. Okay, I promise.
We're super
Right.
thankful you had us. Grateful
thanks
for
for
the
having us.
opportunity.
Yep, it's awesome meeting
Awesome.
you, Sam.
Nice to meet
Lori.
you, Lori.
All right, guys. I'll talk you later.
All right.
All right, everybody.
Yep.
I'm rolling out of here.
Bye,
I'm gonna go
everybody.
drink. I'm gonna go drink me a beer. All right.
That's
See
who's
you
gonna
later.
get us here.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
See ya.